let's get right into it. Here's the intro. So iconic, right? So the great thing about this piece is that there's a lot of repetition. It is constantly going through the same sorts of patterns, the same rhythmic ideas, and even the same melody. So that's the really good news. And the base and the backbone of all of that is this left hand. So the bad news about the left hand is that it's a little complicated with the rhythm. The best thing you can do when you're learning this is to write in the counting to start. So let's do that together. We've got 4/4 time. We're going to break everything into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 ands. Okay, so we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to do 2 bars for you. And 4 and. So you'll notice right away that the 1 and 2 and, the first 2 beats, very simple. You've got 3 notes, G, D, and G, and you just play them from the top to bottom, from bottom to top to bottom. Just like that. Okay? Now they have fingering at the bottom of this edition. I really encourage you to use it because it's going to give you the best shape for your hand to be able to play it most effectively. All right, so that says 5-2-1. We're going to use that, 5-2-1, and we're going to start with the counting now. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that's the complicated part. The 3 is on its own. The and 4 goes on the top G, and then the low G takes the last and. So let's do it again together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then to make it complicated again, we tie over the bar. So it's not even just an and in the last beat, it's and 1. So you can see where I've put my green, where you hold and where you don't. One more time, and we'll go into the second bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1. So it's basically just these and 4s and 1s that you have to watch out for in the intro, and that's kind of how this beginning works. Okay? All right, so now let's tackle this main theme. It begins like this. That's kind of where we're at. It starts right at the pickup to bar 4. So we're going to go from here and we're going to make it all the way to here. Now the good news about this piece is that, like I said, it's very repetitive. And so as soon as you kind of learn the first 2 or 3 bars of this melodic line in the right hand, you've pretty much got the rest of the piece. So that's really great news. Now, this piece has some crazy fingering. It has some crazy big jumps and you need to be ready for it. So let's look at the first section right here. I'm going to play this very slowly for you. Just that much. So you'll see that we have an interval of 6 notes apart, but I'm not going to play it with 1 and 5, which is kind of what we would normally do. I'm going to play it with 1 and 3. It's a big stretch. I kind of have regular size hands. They're not too big, they're not too small. If you have small hands, this is going to be a really big stretch for you. But go for it anyway because you really need this fingering to do the next part. So, after we've played 3 and 1, the next notes are D and A and we play them with 1 and 4. Still stretching. Normally we play this interval, an interval of a fifth with 1 and 5, but we're playing it with 4. And then 3 and 5 on B and G. So lots of movement here. What you want to avoid is you want to avoid getting stuck. So don't ever stay here and try and play the notes. What you want to do is kind of move your hand across the keys as your hand kind of opens and closes and expands over these intervals. All right? Now, in my second circle here, you'll notice that these intervals and these fingerings are exactly the same as the ones we just did, just upside down. They go backwards. So instead of starting with the 1, 3, 6, we start up here at the top where we play 5 and 3, and then 4 and 1 with the 5th, and then 3 and 1 in the 6th. So all together it would sound like this. And there you go. And like I said, the good news is there's a lot of repetition, even in the next bar. Same intervals, just a little bit different counting. And then this bar, again, same intervals, same intervals, same intervals all the way through. So really, really good news for us. Now, the left hand continues with what it had started in the intro. There are a couple modifications, though, that I want to point out. The first one is right here at the beginning. You'll notice we have this dotted quarter note. That's not in the beginning, so we have to be careful to count through that. We're going to start from the and, so the last half beat of this bar 4, and go in. So it'll be and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and I'm going to write the last and 4 and in red, because this is where we have to remember to hold that left hand. We're going to be tempted to play an extra note like this one up here, but you can't. You have to hold it. All right, so let's try that together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we hold all of that. Let's do it one more time. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then once you've mastered that, next bar is very easy because it's the same rhythm as the intro. All right, so as long as you can nail that counting, just be really careful about it. You'll be able to play this section no problem. All right, so I'm going to play this whole section for you again so you can see what this looks like. And you may have noticed that I've been playing my left hand an octave higher than written because we have this sign up here that says left hand octave lower through the second ending. So when we actually perform this, we have to take our left hand and take it down an octave, so it's really down near the bottom of the keyboard. And so I'll play this section for you and show you what that would sound like. All right, now in this next section, we really only have one change here, and that change is in the bass. And it's not even that big a change. So let me play through it and you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. So you'll see that our left hand turns into a B flat. It was G forever, and now it becomes B flat, but it only becomes B flat for 2 beats, or 2 bars. So we play B flat, F, and another B flat with the same rhythm that we did before, and then F and then G. Then everything's back to normal, G. The right hand in this section, again, not too different from what we've seen before. We do have one new interval that we haven't done. It's D and G, again with weird fingering, 1 and 3. And then we open up to that 5th that we've seen before. And then on bar 12, right here, does exactly the same thing. So I'll play that through for you at half speed. You can see what that will look like. So we're through the main section of this piece, the kind of most important section, if you will, where we have that melody and this bass line that everybody knows so well. Now we come kind of to this middle section. Now, it really only is one line right here. But I would kind of call this the climax of the piece, is where it gets really exciting and lots of fun, and the piano kind of just gets to do its thing. So I'll play it for you at full speed, and then we'll talk about it. And then he goes back to all right, so it's pretty easy. We have very little in the left hand. We just have 4 C's, or 3 C's and a D. It says loco, so remember how we had to move the left hand down an octave? Now, loco means back to everything regular. So we take this C and we play it exactly where it's supposed to be, right here. Then we play it with the 2. So C, 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 D. That's it for the left hand. You'll notice though we do have a pedal marking. So we play pedal down on the C and then pedal up on the D. And that's it. All right, right hand. We've got some triads. This is a C triad in first inversion. And we play that 3 times. Then we slide up to F sharp and D. So. And the first beat is accented. And the last beat. Then you do have to make a jump. So right here, we have an interval of a fourth. Finally, with regular fingering, 1 and 4 for the interval of a fourth, D and G. And we just repeat this little motive 3 times. And then a single D. And that's the whole section. So I'll play it for you one more time at half speed, and you can see how all of that falls together. And here it is one more time at full speed. Okay, so now we just have the very end of the piece to go, and it's exactly the same as the beginning. So I'll play it through, you can follow, I'll play it at half speed, and then you're ready to play this piece. And then slower. Alright, and that's the breakdown of Linus and Lucy. I hope you enjoyed watching. Be sure to check out my performance video of this piece and pro tips to really make this piece shine.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching Merriam's Online Academy. Check back here for more videos and don't forget to subscribe below.